At the same time that the food stamp benefits are reduced, they're starting now to have to pay heating bills, and that the combination of that effect is going to hit some people very hard. I think, people when they look at the amount of that reduction tend to think, well, that doesn't sound like a lot. A single person, it would be $11, a family of four, $36 a month. But if you're already struggling to try to stretch that food dollar, that does have an impact. To put it into perspective, I heard a statistic just the other day that if you look at on the annual basis, this reduction in food stamps will be about $5 billion in the course of a year, which would be enough money to provide 1.9 billion meals. So 1.9 billion meals are lost. And then if you look at what food banks do across the country, the Feeding America food banks, the national network, that 1.9 billion meals is equivalent to half of the meals that we distributed throughout the year. So it sounds like a modest loss, but what I think people don't understand is food banks and food pantries and homeless shelters can't make up the difference of those meals that were just lost.
Looking at the 2013 Map the Meal Gap study, it looks roughly 15% of the people living in your service area are food insecure, which is more than 100,000 people, which I think for people who are listening to this interview, that's an extraordinarily high number of people. How in the world can you serve them?
We do the best that we can, but, the food bank network was really set up initially to help try to take the 40% of the food in our country that goes to waste and get it out to the 1 in 6 people that are in need. It was never intended to be an ongoing, source of food for people for their basic needs. It was meant to supplement that. And I think what it's become is just this chronic response to a system that's broken. We need to have a strong nutrition safety net that provides for the basic needs, and the food banks are there to fill in when there's spikes in demand or there are people that are really kind of in a short-term crisis. It wasn't meant to be an ongoing food supply system, and that's what it's become in this country. It's very frustrating to think that a country that has enough food on grocery store shelves to feed everyone 3 meals a day somehow still has this situation where in western North Carolina, 27% of the children don't have the access to the basic food they need for normal human development. You just throw up your hands and say, how can that possibly be?